Hello everyone, welcome to the Book Station. I am Sanjana. If you're new here, thank you for joining. I am just a book lover trying to share my opinions on books so that you can also read more books. So today, though it's mid-August, I thought I'll film a video on the books that I read in the month of July. Honestly, I've read some exceptionally written books and I thought if I would share with you, even you could enjoy these masterpieces. So without further ado, let's get started. So honestly, I'm going to start off with the books that I read in the month of June. The first book that I read was this one, that is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. This is honestly one of my favorite book covers because it's so beautiful and I kind of bought it for the cover alone. But this is one of the most well written books that I have read this year. And obviously, Neil Gaiman is very famous for his books, whether it's Caroline or The Graveyard Book. And this book costed only $2.99 on Amazon, and I think it's really worth it. So, this is the story of Nobody Owens, who you see here, and this is his guardian. So, Nobody Owen is orphaned when someone kills all of his family members when he is only, I think, 1.5 or 2 years old, and he escapes to a graveyard or a sanctuary kind near his house, and there he's adopted and brought up by the supernatural creatures or members of the graveyard. And Nobody Owens is always very curious about the world outside, but he can't go outside because the person who killed his family members is on the lookout for Nobody to kill him as well. So when Nobody Owens actually grows up to become 10 or 11 years old, he wants to go out. So this is his journey from a 2-year-old toddler to 11 years old and all the adventures that he goes on in the supernatural world. Neil Gaiman's language is quite simple, but he weaves magic, I would say. And the book is so entertaining, and you come across a lot of characters that are supernatural in nature, but also very true to life. And this is one of those books that anyone, not just young readers, but also adults, will definitely enjoy. The next book that I read, I don't have a copy of it, but I'll put a picture here, is Interpreter of Maladies by Jhumpa Lahiri. This was a library copy and I don't own a book, but I wish I did. The first book of Jhumpa Lahiri that I tried reading was The Namesake, but unfortunately I could never finish it. But this time my friend told me that I had to read The Interpreter of Maladies because it's amazing. And when I picked up the book, it's not more than, I would say, 200 pages and you can finish it within 2 days because it is a collection of short stories. And I must say, it is one of the most best books about diaspora that I've ever read. So, this is a collection of short stories and small stories about people who are going through a lot of identity crisis because of diaspora, that is, because of leaving their home country and moving to an alien country. And what makes Interpreter of Maladies very special is because it shows stories or is written from perspectives of a 10-year-old to a 60-year-old. And you see stories of people trying to deal with moving to a new country, trying to make friends there, trying to learn driving, trying to get accustomed to their way of living, and all the problems and challenges that come along with it. And I still can't believe I didn't read The Namesake, but I definitely will. But The Interpreter of Maladies is a must read who's interested in diaspora. And I would say this book is quite good for anyone who wants to start off reading. If you don't want to delve into big books, then this book is made for you. The next book that I read was, I think, yes, The Great Gatsby. So obviously, I reread this. I've read it. I've read this a few years ago, but honestly, I was in the mood for reading something very romantic, dramatic, and I thought Great Gatsby is best. So I watched the movie first, and then I read this. Obviously, this book is very small, and again you can finish it within 2 or 3 days, so it is very good for a binge read session. The next book that I read was, yes, my favorite short stories, no, my favorite nature stories by Ruskin Bond on the Kindle device on my Android, obviously. And this book is available for free who anyone who wants to read it. And these short stories are so nostalgic. So Ruskin Bond collects all of the favorite stories about in the places that he has lived in and the experiences that he has gone through in these special places. And I would say this is very nostalgic because it takes back to those summer holidays that we would spend in my aunt's place, my grandma's place, going through farms, picking up berries, vegetables, running around on the roads. And in such a difficult time that we are going through, I think that this book would definitely help you. And again, this book is so well written. Ruskin Bond's language is engaging yet so simple. So it's best for anyone who is just starting off reading books. I would definitely recommend this to you. The next book that I read was Punachi by Perumal Murugan. It is translated from the South Indian language Tamil. I think you can also listen to the audiobooks on Audible. I'm sure there are audiobooks in Tamil and Malayalam as well, but I read the English translated version, and this is one of the best books that I've ever read in my life and in this year. And I highly recommend it to anyone who's interested in Indian literature. I can't believe this book has been so well translated because I have not read the Tamil version, but I can imagine how good it can be in the native language that it was written in. But the translated version, I think, is also very well done. And Punachi is the story of a black goat who is adopted or taken in by an old couple, though they have many goats. So they take her in because she's very adorable, and the old woman, she gains or she develops a connection with Punachi immediately as soon as she sees her. So they take her in, and this story is all about Punachi's journey from her childhood until her death. What is striking about Punachi is the human qualities that Perumal Murugan puts in or probably expresses through Punachi. So there are a lot of monologues and questions that comes up in Punachi's mind that are expressed through very human-like words. And when you are reading the story, you will start questioning a lot of human laws and the ethics that we as human beings follow. And Punachi is also a social commentary on the ways of human beings, their behavior towards other human beings, as well as animals, the way we treat and care for animals. And Perumal Murugan weaves magic through his language and the theme because there are a lot of striking images and events that makes you question the world that you live in. And the climax of the book is the best part. It's very unexpected and, like I said, also a social commentary and reflects one of the most, I would say, evilest part of the society. I do not want to reveal it. And I also don't think my words do justice to this book. So I highly recommend anyone who's interested in Indian literature or any other literature to read this because it is a reflection, a beautifully written and a perfect reflection of the world that we live in. So those were the books that I read in June and July, and I enjoyed reading them, and I can't wait to read more books. And if you have any recommendations similar to the books that I've read, I would appreciate it if you would comment down below. And also, if you like this book and found any recommendations, do hit the like button and subscribe. I am coming up with a few more prime recommendations and audiobook recommendations in the next few videos. So I shall see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.